Lights, camera, action. Welcome back to Flick Flash. Season 1 of Cross follows Washington, D.C. homicide detective and forensic psychologist Alex Cross as he struggles with devastating grief while hunting one of the most disturbing killers of his career. A year after his wife Maria is murdered in a senseless act of violence, Cross is still emotionally fractured, but throws himself into work to cope. When a serial killer begins recreating murders inspired by infamous criminals, the case becomes deeply personal. Over 8 intense episodes, Cross faces betrayal, psychological warfare, and threats against his own family, all while trying to hold himself together. The season opens with Alex Cross at a happy moment in his life before tragedy strikes. A gunman suddenly kills his wife Maria, shattering everything. 1 year later, Cross is drowning in grief, but fully committed to his work. He investigates the suspicious murder of activist Amir Goodspeed. Despite departmental skepticism, Cross uses his psychological profiling skills during interrogation to expose hidden truths. The episode establishes the emotional trauma driving Cross and introduces a case that hints at something much darker beneath the surface. Cross's trauma surfaces violently when he wakes at night believing someone has broken into his home, only to find his daughter frightened by his reaction. Meanwhile, key evidence in the Goodspeed case disappears, raising suspicions of interference. Cross and John Sampson race to recover it, while community tensions grow. The pressure mounts as Cross balances fatherhood, grief, and a case that is becoming more complicated by the hour. Cross pushes for a warrant tied to a suspicious property connected to the case. Resistance from a judge nearly stalls progress until new evidence surfaces. Meanwhile, a woman named Brenda Leland attempts to kill Cross, though her weapon has been sabotaged, suggesting someone is manipulating events. The investigation uncovers disturbing details about a former brothel with hidden exits, pointing toward a calculated killer operating in the shadows. The investigation expands into what becomes known as the Fanboy serial killer case. The killer appears to be recreating murders inspired by notorious criminals. Cross revisits past court testimony that may have triggered current events. Meanwhile, Ed Ramsey emerges as a charming yet deeply unsettling suspect. The episode blends public tension, emotional strain, and psychological chess as Cross inches closer to understanding his opponent. Cross attends Ed Ramsey's lavish birthday party under the guise of social politeness while secretly investigating him. The tension is electric as Cross searches for evidence that Ramsey may already have his next victim inside the mansion. John Sampson travels to investigate Ramsey's past, uncovering disturbing childhood patterns. The cat and mouse dynamic intensifies as both men subtly test each other. A viral video showing Cross violently confronting a suspect leads to suspension and public outrage. Stripped of his badge, Cross spirals further while protests erupt outside the precinct. His son Damon's struggles highlight the emotional toll the case is taking on the family. A new lead takes Cross to Philadelphia, where he reconnects with Damon while tracking down White Mike, a crucial witness who may help expose Ramsey. Cross races against time to save Shannon Whitmer from being murdered by Ramsey, who plans to recreate another infamous killing. The team discovers Ramsey's location and storms in just before Shannon is killed. Ramsey attempts to fake his own death, but is ultimately captured after a confrontation with Cross. Though Shannon survives, the sense of danger around Cross's family remains unsettling. In the finale, the threats become deeply personal. Cross discovers that someone close to his family has been manipulating events behind the scenes. His children are placed in immediate danger, forcing Cross and Sampson into a desperate rescue mission. After shocking revelations tied to revenge and betrayal, Cross saves his family and closes the central threats of the season. However, emotional scars remain, and not every question feels fully resolved. By the end of Season 1, Alex Cross has stopped a calculating serial killer and uncovered painful truths about his wife's death. Doesn't erase trauma. With trust broken, enemies revealed, and emotional wounds still raw, Cross stands at a crossroads. Season 2 promises even higher stakes, deeper conspiracies, and new psychological battles. If Season 1 proved anything, it's that for Alex Cross, the fight is never just about catching killers. It's about protecting family at all costs. Thank you once again for being a part of Flick Flash. Until next time, keep watching, keep exploring, and keep that movie and TV magic alive. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and stay tuned for more exciting recaps. This is Flick Flash signing off.